Imagine standing on a snowy doorstep, arms full of homemade pie and carefully wrapped gifts, heart pounding with hope for a family reunion. Then, the door swings open, and the person you trusted most slams it shut with words that cut deeper than the December cold. "We don't want you here. Go ruin someone else's Christmas." That's where my story begins. My name is Harper Sullivan, and at 28, I learned the hardest lesson of my life. Sometimes, the family you love most is the one you need to walk away from to find yourself. If you've ever felt betrayed by those who should love you unconditionally, hit that like button, share your story in the comments, and subscribe to join a community of survivors who know that healing starts with courage. Let's dive into the night that changed everything. I grew up in the Sullivan family in a quiet Chicago suburb, where every holiday was a minefield after my parents' divorce 5 years ago. My dad, Michael Sullivan, was my anchor, a civil engineer with a small firm. Always patient, always asking about my dreams of becoming an architect. He'd sit with me at his cluttered kitchen table, sketching blueprints, teaching me to see beauty in structure. My mom, Diane, was different, caught up in appearances, her social circle, and the influence of her younger sister, Aunt Vanessa. Vanessa was the family's puppet master, sharp-tongued and controlling, always ready with a critique of my choices, from my thrift store sweaters to my impractical career goals. "Architecture? Harper, you're not cut out for that. You're too scattered," she'd say at family dinners, her words chipping away at me. Dad always countered her venom with quiet encouragement. But the damage lingered. The divorce was a war zone. Dad wanted a clean split, offering generous terms, but Vanessa convinced Mom he was hiding money. What could have been amicable turned vicious, with Vanessa whispering lies that Dad had abandoned us. My older brother, Ethan, 30, aligned with Mom, chasing a business degree to fit her vision of success. My younger sister, Lily, was 16 when the split happened, retreating into her sketchbooks and music, but falling under Vanessa's spell, who preached about rebuilding a proper family. I, at 23, finishing my architecture degree, stayed close to Dad, spending weekends in his downtown apartment. The divorce carved a canyon between us, with Vanessa as Mom's gatekeeper, dictating who was welcome at family gatherings. "Your mother doesn't think it's appropriate for you to bring your father's new girlfriend to Thanksgiving," Vanessa would say, though Dad wasn't even dating. Or, "We've already planned for Ethan's girlfriend's family, so there's no room." Each exclusion stung, but Dad never bad-mouthed them. "They're processing, Harper," he'd say, flipping pancakes on Christmas mornings when I couldn't face Vanessa's annual Christmas Eve dinner. "Keep showing up when you can." 4 months ago, I landed my dream job at Greenwave Design, a Chicago firm focused on sustainable urban housing. The work was grueling, 14-hour days over drafting tables, but I was finally building something real. Dad was over the moon, Mom, less so. "That's nice, Harper," she said when I called, quickly pivoting to Ethan's promotion. I kept trying, though, inviting Mom for coffee, sending Lily art gallery tickets, even congratulating Vanessa on her bank promotion. Most efforts were met with polite dismissals or unfulfilled promises. So when Mom called in early December, her voice soft, inviting me to Christmas dinner at Vanessa's, I was stunned. "It's time to move past the old hurts," she said. "Vanessa's making her famous prime rib. Everyone will be there, everyone except Dad," she clarified, her tone sharpening. I weighed the invitation for days, hope battling history. For this night, I crafted gifts. A restored 1980s photo of Mom and Grandma for her. Vintage Chicago skyscraper blueprints for Ethan. A portfolio of my college work with notes for Lily's art school dreams. And even a silver engraved pen for Vanessa. Reading to New Beginnings. Dad warned me, "They have a pattern, Harper." But I insisted. "People can change." He squeezed my shoulder. "If it goes sideways, call me. Promise?" Christmas Eve was chaos at Greenwave, finalizing a downtown housing proposal. My best friend, Chloe, a graphic designer who'd known me since college, saw the strain. "You look like a festive zombie," she teased over lunch. "Sure about this Christmas with the villains?" "They're family," I countered. though her skepticism echoed my own. My coworker Nate, a newer friend, offered optimism. Family can surprise you. My parents didn't speak for years. Now they're vacation buddies. Bolstered, I baked Grandma Sullivan's bourbon pecan pie, a recipe Dad taught me, and chose a burgundy sweater dress. Festive but understated, with Grandma's gold necklace for luck. Christmas morning dawned snowy and bright. Texts from Chloe, Nate, and Dad's, "Merry Christmas, kiddo," warmed me as I packed the pie and gifts. By 4 p.m., nerves jangling, I drove 40 minutes to Vanessa's suburban tutor. Its holiday lights outshining the neighborhood. Laughter and music spilled from the windows, where I glimpsed Mom, Ethan, and Lily inside, already celebrating. I parked, steadied myself, and walked the lantern-lit path to the door. Pie in one hand, gifts in the other. The doorbell's chime silenced the chatter inside. My heart raced as footsteps approached. Vanessa opened the door, stunning in a black velvet dress, pearls gleaming. Her eyes flicked over me, and her smile twisted into a sneer. "We don't want you here, Harper," she said, voice like ice. "Go ruin someone else's Christmas." The words hit like a slap. Behind her, Mom adjusted a centerpiece. Ethan poured wine. Lily laughed at her phone. A perfect family. No room for me. I was invited. I stammered. Mom called. Vanessa's grip tightened on the door. "Diane made a mistake. We decided it'd be uncomfortable with you here. You understand." No one looked my way. I nodded, choking out, "Got it," and turned back to my car, tears blurring the festive lights. The door clicked shut before I reached the path. In my car, hands shaking, I collapsed. The humiliation burned. Hours spent baking, shopping, hoping, only to be rejected like an intruder. Years of slights flooded back. Vanessa, forgetting my place at Thanksgiving. Ethan's graduation I saw on social media. Lily's art show where Mom introduced me as Diane's daughter. I'd rationalized it all, desperate to belong. Now, I couldn't. Sobbing, I called Dad. "They don't want me." I managed. Vanessa said they decided after Mom's invite. His voice hardened. "Stay put. I'm coming." 20 minutes later, his Volvo pulled into Willow Creek Park, where I'd driven. Unable to go home, I fell into his arms, crying like I hadn't since he moved out. "You're everything, Harper," he said, holding me tight. "They're the ones missing out." Seeing the pie and gifts, Dad's jaw clenched. "This ends tonight." He insisted we return to Vanessa's, not for them, but for me. 5 years is enough, he said, terrified but trusting him. I agreed. We pulled up to Vanessa's glowing house, the facade mocking us. Dad pounded the door, his hand on my shoulder. Vanessa opened it, her confidence wavering at his presence. "Michael, what are you doing here?" she snapped. "This is a private family event." "Exactly," Dad replied, voice steady but sharp. "That's why Harper belongs here." Before she could argue, he raised his voice. "You turned my daughter away from a dinner her mother invited her to, saying she'd ruin it." Mom appeared, confused, wine glass in hand. "What's going on?" Vanessa tried to block her, but Dad pressed on. Vanessa told Harper the family decided she wasn't welcome. Mom's eyes widened. "I set a place for her." Ethan and Lily joined, the room tensing. I found my voice. "You said, we don't want you here. Go ruin someone else's Christmas." After I drove here with gifts and pie. Mom turned to Vanessa, horrified. "Is this true?" Vanessa faltered. "I was protecting you, Diane. Harper's always sided with him." Dad countered. "She's been trying to love her whole family, while you've been isolating her." The truth unraveled. Dad revealed Vanessa's lies, fake stories of his affairs, intercepted letters to Lily, manipulated plans to exclude me. Mom, stunned, admitted Vanessa had controlled her for years. Ethan found a text from Dad he'd never seen, sent via Vanessa's phone. Lily confessed Vanessa hid Dad's letters to her. In a raw, electric moment, Mom ordered Vanessa out of her house. Vanessa stormed off, her control shattered. We left, too, taking the dinner to Dad's apartment, where we built a new table, imperfect, real, and ours. This is just the start. The night didn't erase 5 years of pain. but it cracked open the door to healing. Want to know how we rebuilt? Share your story of walking away to find yourself in the comments. Like, subscribe, and let's keep this conversation going. The air was thick with tension as we stood in Vanessa's living room. The Christmas tree glittering with ornaments from a childhood that felt a lifetime away. Moments earlier, my dad had called out Aunt Vanessa's lies, her fabricated stories of his affairs, her interception of letters to Lily, her calculated exclusion of me because I refused to cut him out of my life. My mom, Diane, her face pale with realization, had just told her sister to leave her own house. Vanessa's departure was a storm, her purse snatched, her heels clicking furiously, the door slamming so hard the wreath rattled. Silence fell, heavy with 5 years of unspoken truths. Then, unexpectedly, Lily laughed, pointing at my pie. Vanessa's allergic to pecans, she said, her voice cracking with nervous humor. It wasn't funny, not really, but soon we were all laughing, raw, cathartic laughter that broke the spell of Vanessa's control. Mom was the first to move, taking the pie carrier from my trembling hands. You made Grandma Sullivan's bourbon pecan? She asked, her voice soft with memory. I nodded. Dad taught me that first Christmas after the divorce. Her eyes shadowed with regret. Vanessa said it was too fattening for our table. Ethan, rubbing his neck, a gesture so like Dad's, muttered. She convinced us of a lot of things. Mom squeezed my hand, her resolve hardening. No more secrets. No more manipulations. I've failed you all, especially you, Harper. I wanted to protest, to ease her guilt, but the truth of her words stung. You didn't fail, I said finally. Vanessa's persuasive, but we're here now. Lily, usually so quiet, spoke up. I knew something was wrong. She was always there, explaining why we should be mad at Dad. Suspicious of you, Harper. I missed you, but I didn't know how to reach you. Her eyes glistened, and I crossed the room to take her hands. I missed you too, every day. Ethan, uncomfortable with the raw emotion, added, I didn't know she turned you away tonight. When Mom said you were coming, I was glad. Mom nodded. I set a place for you, Harper. I even made your favorite cranberry sauce. She shook her head, stunned. Vanessa must have removed your setting while I was in the kitchen. Dad, steady as ever, broke the silence. We start here, with honesty. I looked at the perfect table, the glittering decor, all Vanessa's design. Let's leave, I said suddenly. This house is hers, her rules, her version of us. Let's go somewhere we can be ourselves. Dad grinned. My place isn't fancy, but the tree's up, and there's room. To my surprise, Mom agreed instantly. Let's pack the dinner. It's a shame to waste good prime rib. Lily's eyes lit up, like those storm picnics we had when the power went out. Ethan, ever practical, offered. I'll grab the wine and desserts. Maybe swing by for ice. Within 30 minutes, we dismantled Vanessa's orchestrated Christmas. Mom and Ethan packed food. Lily gathered gifts, and Dad cleared space in his Volvo. I stood in the dining room, staring at the table where my place setting was missing. Mom joined me, her voice quiet. I really did set a place for you. I'm so sorry. I met her eyes, seeing her for the first time in years. I believe you. Let's make a new table. We loaded 2 cars and drove to Dad's downtown apartment, leaving behind Vanessa's facade for something real. Dad's place was modest, a 2-bedroom with river views, cluttered with books and my old college sketches framed on the walls. The Christmas tree, small but cheerful, glowed in the corner. We set up on the coffee table, fine china on paper towels, wine in mismatched mugs. It wasn't perfect, but it was ours, over prime rib and pie. We shared stories, tentative at first. Ethan admitted he'd hidden his love for photography because Vanessa called it impractical. Lily revealed her art school applications, defying Vanessa's push for business school. Mom confessed she'd abandoned teaching because Vanessa said it was beneath the family. Looking back, I don't even know what that meant, she said, shaking her head. Dad, cutting pie, added, it meant control. He winced. Sorry, not helpful, but Mom nodded. No, you're right. I see it now. As midnight neared, we opened gifts. Lily's was a hand-illustrated book of our childhood memories. The last page a hopeful blank space for our future. I gave her my college portfolio with notes for her art school journey. Ethan's eyes lit up at the vintage skyscraper blueprints. A nod to his forgotten passion. Mom teared up at the restored photo of her and Grandma. Dad kept them. I said simply. He kept a lot of things. The night wasn't a cure-all. Old hurts lingered, but we'd chosen truth over Vanessa's lies. And that was a start. As we left around 1 a.m., Mom hesitated. I'm not going back to Vanessa's. Not tonight. Maybe not ever. She booked a hotel, declaring, I need to find out who Diane Sullivan is without her. Ethan and Lily offered to help her pack. And Dad opened his home to them. The sofa pulls out, and Harper's old room is free. It was more than space, it was a bridge across 5 years of distance. I pulled Mom aside. Vanessa won't let this go easily. She squeezed my hands, her eyes fierce. I've lost 5 years with you. Harper, never again. 6 months later, summer painted Chicago in golden light, mirroring our slow healing. Vanessa didn't fade quietly. She bombarded Mom with tearful calls, showed up at Ethan's office with wild claims, and sent emails painting herself as the victim. But Mom stood firm, moving into a sunny apartment and returning to teaching English literature at a community college. Her stories about her students brought back a spark I hadn't seen since I was a kid. Ethan struggled, entangling Vanessa's influence on his career. By March, he started therapy, questioning his path. I'm good at business, he told me over coffee. But do I love it? I never asked. Lily thrived, moving into Dad's place, her room bursting with canvases. She chose an art school in the city, her work vibrant, free from Vanessa's shadow. Dad remained our rock, forging a cautious friendship with Mom, co-parenting us through the chaos. For me, the reckoning brought clarity. At Green Wave Design, my downtown housing project won approval. A career milestone that had me calling Dad in tears of joy. Personally, I stopped chasing approval from those who didn't value me. Therapy helped me set boundaries. And I leaned into relationships that mattered, like with Nate, my coworker turned partner, who accepted my messy history without judgment. Vanessa lingered at the edges, sending cards or messages, testing our resolve. In June, she appeared at Mom's apartment, clutching her designer bag, demanding to talk. I was there, helping hang curtains. Mom faced her, calm but unyielding. You damaged my family, Vanessa. 6 months of freedom is just the start. I added, what was unhealthy was you cutting me out for loving my dad. You controlled us, not protected us. Defeated, Vanessa left. Tonight, we're gathered at my loft for a simple Wednesday dinner. Mom brings a salad, Ethan wine, Lily sketches, and Dad's late with dessert. Nate moves easily among them, laughing with Ethan about cameras. It's not perfect, scars remain. Mom hesitates on decisions. Ethan's defensive. Lily withdraws when tensions rise. And I still brace for rejection. But we're choosing each other. Conversation by conversation. Family isn't automatic, it's a daily choice. Built on respect and truth. I've learned my worth isn't tied to others' acceptance. Sometimes, you leave a table where you're not valued and build your own. Inviting those who see you. Have you ever walked away to find what you needed? Share your story below. Like, subscribe, and let's keep building tables where everyone belongs.